These are the 3 scariest verses in the Bible to me. I'll be reading from Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 to 23. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. On that day many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and cast out demons in your name, and do mighty works in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. Every time I read these verses, I'm just like, but I think apart from it just being scary verses, to me, I can't imagine getting to heaven and living my life for Christ, or thinking that I'm living my life for Christ. And then God telling me, I never knew you. Depart from me, you worker of lawlessness. And I decided to share this because, one, we are definitely in the age of deception where people are telling you and trying to convince you, right, that right is right, well, right is wrong, and wrong is right. And they'll even attack you if you stand on truth, right? So I think it's really important, especially as Christians, to think and ask yourself, what are the things that I'm following? Where did I get these ideas from? Did these ideas come from God, from His Word, which is the authority? Or did these ideas come from tradition, just because we've always did it this way, right? Like, I think it's really important that we start asking ourselves, why am I doing what I'm doing? What is this based in? Who did I get this from? And who am I following? Because sometimes we will be following man into hell and not following God or Christ. And we can be doing it very innocently. But it's all of our responsibility, not just your pastors, not just your mothers and your fathers, especially if you're over the age of 18, to make sure that you get into heaven. Because if you go to church every Sunday and you think that you're doing the will of the Father, and then God forbid you die and you go to hell, and then you're standing before God, you can't pull your pastor and say, hey, can you tell God why I should be led into heaven? Can you tell him why I was in church every Sunday? I was listening to the message. You need to make sure you go home and you read your Bible for yourself. You should know the voice of your Father, and it should not be hindered by the voice of the world. So for me, these are the 3 scariest verses in the Bible, or some of the 3 scariest verses in the Bible. But I really wanted to share it because I think we should all do a heart check. And it shouldn't just be, God forbid if something bad happens, like, oh, thank God for saving me, and now let me think about my life. You know how they say your life flashes before your eyes before you die. I think every single day that we get up, it's a gift from God, and that we should reflect, how am I doing? Right? If I was to meet God today, would He be pleased with me? Right? Like, I think we should be asking ourselves that all the time, because the world has a way of distracting us from the truth that we are in a battle. We're in war. But it's a spiritual war. So you're not seeing the things that are happening. Maybe you're not seeing it, right, if you don't have that spiritual gift. But things are happening, right? The spiritual world is way more real than the physical world. So just make sure that you're doing a heart check, just making sure that you know the voice of your Father, so you are not being distracted and pulled away by this world. May God bless you, and until I see you again.